Yeah, I think Brolin definitely had some sort of quieter maps than what we've seen previously from him. Like, he was very, very good in like that sort of first matchup on Inferno, was given some spots that you know that he likes to be playing. We'll see if he can have the same performance already. A great start onto Angel, who already dinked out. I saw some problems for him when they were up against Vega Squadron in the match they played recently on this map, where they could very easily be pushed out, and Angel early on was getting caught, and it looks like he's about to be caught again. Brolin onto the scoreboard very quickly indeed, and we'll take the man advantage, and they've kind of left Oscar without much vision at all.
Thing is, they're going to be rotating back towards this B site. Nuki does take down Exist. Lau's going to be by himself, though, up against 3, and, well, eventually he's going to be picked off here before he gets a single person. Now, the 2 remaining players of HellRaisers trying to come in through Kitchen. Brolin set up in a perfect position to punish this. Switches to Burst Mode. And you know what they say about Burst Mode? That's a hell no. And that's going to be Fnatic taking the round nonetheless. And I think there's an interesting topic to actually be discussed when it comes to teams bringing in new players, especially young players in particular. Because if we look at Aristocracy, Diha, the 16-year-old being brought in, it seems like they're forcing Diha to play a certain way. Like they're kind of forcing Diha to play around the way that Taz wants the team to play. Where you look at Fnatic, I feel like it's a little bit of a different story, where Fnatic are more like, all right, we have this all-star coming to this team. He's young. We can train him the way we want to train him, but let's play around him. Let's make him, or do everything we can in our books to make him excel. And I think looking at how teams play around a new player, a young player, really kind of shows, I guess, their faith in them or the ideal of how they want the team to run.
Oh, Brolin. Oh, got to be a little bit careful there. Luckily, JW is there to bail him out of spot. Yes, so we'll at least be able to trade one back, but I don't think they're going to get that much more than that. Law even being tagged through the smoke. I don't know if the bullet will have been heard by the man actually towards. I think Brolin actually is spraying through the smoke. I am inclined to agree. I think that, especially on the T side, giving him that entry role in a lot of the rounds. So you do see JW some of the time, like, just take over and go for his like aggro peaks, maybe if things aren't going too well. But I think that's such an impactful role, a very difficult one at that as well. The fact that they are willing to dedicate him to it. I will say in the other rosters, like Nuki, I believe, is 21. So he's been around a bit longer than Brolin. It's not quite the same sense. But then again, Brolin, like what he has managed to achieve before joining Fnatic, he's still been in some like pretty like mid-tier reasonable teams. Like it's not been just straight from rags to riches. Like he has like had to work his way around and, well, basically proved himself very quickly to be a talented player.
And with Diha on Aristocracy, like the rounds we did see him just have these great moments of individual performance. Well, the rounds it seemed like he was able to just improvise and do what he wants. Thinking back to the overpass match where he just randomly pushes Monster on CT side, catches out Issa, catches out Angel when they're throwing a nade, and just wins a 1v2. And I want to see more of that.
I like to think those moments is like Taz reaches for his drink and he like starts sipping. He goes, go, go, go. He can't say anything now.
Yeah, you can't stop me from doing
and he's like spitting out his drink. Stop! Ah, it's too late. He's gone. He's got 2 kills. I can't really complain at this point.
I wonder if that might be something that for Aristocracy will change over time. Of, you know, once Taz teaches him like the basics of like how the team can work, then they'll start to play around him a little bit more. But obviously time will tell when it comes to something like that. In the meantime, though, we do have Fnatic with a nice early lead, and JW down to 7 HP, down to 5. The nades just not finishing him off. Tucked behind this impenetrable wall. Somehow he survives this one, but again, look at all the deagles we have out of HellRaisers, and Oscar's just quickly going to be overrun at the B site. Bilao, will they expect him to be boosted up in here is the question.
It's quite a common spot in eco rounds. So
there's the answer.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all that Fnatic checked that. I would have been quite disappointed if nobody on the team thought to have their spot. And I do wonder that when clearing sites, if you do have sort of certain players where you go, yep, that dodgy box spot, make sure you check that. I'll go and check this spot. Like, you'd expect them to. So I think if they didn't, then somebody would have been shouted at. Once again, it is just going to be an attempt to save the deagles. Like, even if it's just not giving over too much or holding for an exit kill, the chance if you get away with too much in this scenario is slim. It's given a chance, but actually not going to get anything from it. And Nuki will be able to get one. We've seen some magic with the deagle from him yesterday. They won't get anything past Brolin this time. 3-0, Fnatic off to a strong start. And I'm looking forward to the next map especially, because so far HellRaisers are 100%. They haven't lost a game with this new roster on Overpass.
How many maps have they played on that?
I think it's only like 4. But they haven't got many maps on any map. So
True.
It's kind of hard to be like... I think Mirage might be their most played, if not one of them.
And it's a very good map for Fnatic as well. I mean, I was just quickly looking over the ratings of the last 3 months, and everyone on the team of Fnatic has over a 1.0 rating, except Exist, who's at 0.99, which let's just give it to him. Let's just call it a 1.0 at this rate. On the other side, you have Nuki, who's at 1.14, and Oscar at 1.09, but everyone else is below 1.0 when it comes to this map. So I would definitely want to say it should be going Fnatic's way, at least in past results alone.
T-side already getting a double entry onto this B-side. Gonna make things difficult. Almost JW hitting the timing, but instead Issa will take him down. That's gonna even things up in terms of personnel. Twist spraying through the smoke, but a single bullet will put him to the dirt. Has Crim sort of backing him up over towards short, but it's actually the rotation into the market from the CT side. And Twist wins that duel. Angel not prepared, and because of that, his teammates now in a little bit of trouble. The remaining utility from Fnatic being expended to try and hold back this push. But the fact is the time's now starting to tick away, and yeah, the CT side in such a strong position initially, but just that one kill from Twist actually enough to put the retake to bed. Yeah,
I was wondering maybe if Angel did take Twist down, turn it to a 3-on-2 where you have a massive utility advantage, that could be the go time. A little bit unfortunate Angel was caught looking the wrong direction, but at least HellRaisers will save these 2 M4s into the next round. But Fnatic is looking very solid here, off to a very early lead. Again, a very important match for them. If they lose this, they could almost kiss the finals goodbye because they'll be 0-2 so far in the group.
Yeah, that is the moment of you basically have to hope that the other games go your way. Yeah. And then that's just a horrible position to be in because it means that it's completely out of your control. But yeah, a good start. I will say as well that from what I've seen from HellRaisers so far, the CT side has definitely been the better of the two. And their T side a little bit underwhelming, which I think against Fnatic could be a big problem because their CT side has always been phenomenal. Even when they've had poor moments within the roster, you've seen the likes of Crims being able to do fantastic work towards the connector. He's always been great at that spot, so I would be surprised if they don't get at least the half on their CT side. So I think we need to see HellRaisers step up now and really perform here. And well,
oh no.
This is very aggressive. The problem is Crims is waiting around the corner. Is he going to expect Angel to be this close? I think Angel spotted Crims, but I don't think Crims spotted Angel. And now Oscar's going to be pushing right into Crims' hands, but actually wins the duel.
So they do recover an AK here. In the meantime, the rest of Fnatic are over towards middle. The nice smoke in towards connector. It should allow them to push in towards that B side if that's the direction they do want to go. But still being very cautious here, realizing that HellRaisers have forced up into this round JW. This is a crucial duel for him. He's got to be able to take down Lowell here. His teammates have been able to sneak up in towards middle as well. They have, an M4 on Issa. Lowell has the MP9. He's going to take down JW. Just like that, all these individual duels working out for HellRaisers. However, Exist and Brolin and Twist all chime in as quick as possible with 3 quick kills.
Low in a little bit of a panic, and Angel trying to fight things back, but the trade's there in the end.
For HellRaisers. I mean, it's not a terrible round considering what they did have into this, but obviously a win or a loss is a loss.
Yeah, I think when you get the first 2 kills as well, you're hoping for more. Even though, if you start the round, you go, okay, we're going to kill 4 people, and then we go into our Barons, you're thinking, great. Yeah. But if you just focus on the fact that they were in a 5 versus 3, then it kind of doesn't look like such a good situation. The turnaround from Fnatic is good. Their entries onto the B side thus far have been fantastic. But this is where things can change. Only a single AWP. I'm hoping at some point we see the double AWP come out from HellRaisers because Nuki over towards ramp, he gets very aggressive and it's quite exciting to watch. And successful as well. Last time I watched them play this map, both him and Oscar got 30+ kills and I believe they lost. So hoping not to have a similar scenario there. Nuki though, already getting dunked down. The nade's doing a lot of damage. Oscar able to catch one on the cross, but again, it's just the trades effective from Fnatic. The slight gap in the smoke actually netting the initial kill, and I think Twist knows it's there, but once the smoke fades, he's left in no man's land.
He did jump across it, so at least not being spotted there, but as he said, the smoke fading did cost him his life. We do have actually a big flank coming in from JW. The thing is, he's going to have to pick up the pace, but if he can hit towards connector, hit towards middle, he actually could get a massive flank onto the 3 remaining players here of HellRaisers. He spots them out, goes for the shots, misses out. Oscar, in the meantime, does not miss, and with the help of Oscar taking down 4, HellRaisers will finally get on the board here.
Yeah, I think even if JW gets that first kill, it makes no difference because it's kind of weird. I understand why it happened. The missed smoke screwed their strategy completely because the smoke was meant to be down. They then gained some control towards connector, and then the bomb is planted for JW. But because they can't get the bomb down because of this, they have to plant default, and JW is now playing from short. Like, even if he gets one kill on the player here, the other two will just walk around and defuse the bomb. So clearly a bit of a misplay in the end that changes the strategy. I think really he needed to try and pick up the pace and go around, but maybe just some miscommunication or just not having the time. But yeah, 5-1.
I was wondering maybe if he just went through Kitchen. Like, I think his time was a major factor, right? Go through Kitchen, hit CT spawn. Angel, in the meantime, tries to get very aggressive in towards middle. And the aggression, again, not working out for him like we saw yesterday. Issa, in the meantime, existent Brolin going to be decimated by this player here. You might even have a third as Crim's just lurking inside a Palace. JW over towards a B. And then, of course, you have Twist in middle. It's a little bit of a spread here, but down a man. Looking for these individual duels. Oh my gosh, I thought Crim's got that.
No, unfortunately, it's actually his teammate to go down on the other side of the map. JW trying to lurk around in B once again. Top mid being challenged by Twist, but there's still Issa lurking around in window. And for Fnatic now, they kind of need to find some sort of pick, and fairly quickly as well. A minute left on the clock. Going back for some mid control, but you can see that the CT side, it's not so much that Fnatic have taken the control, it's that the CTs have given it up. They have aggression over in towards the apartments. They're also holding in towards window just in case someone is boosted up. And they have 2 players in CT as well, so this is going to be a very tough take for the Swedes.
No smokes especially to use here, and Twist was just gifted connector there. Spray coming in out of Nuka, not able to hit the shots necessarily onto Crims to finish him off. There's the Molotov coming in to maybe allow the plant. Twist is going to have to cover this. And Crims is going to have to make his way up to actually get the bomb down, but with 20 seconds left to go, they have to hope for something. And look how passive HellRaisers are playing this too, realizing this should be a round that we get on the board here. The bomb will get planted. After plant situation, and Fnatic have to be so lucky and be gifted a frag or two to be able to pull this off.
Yeah, and you can see the patience from the CTs. They know that there's a flank coming. They know that they have utility. They have kits on every single player. So they've got plenty of time to make this move happen. And already Twist going to be left blinded by the push. He's lucky that Nuki at least is fairly low on HP. So he's just going to be more of a distraction. And this is going to be the one. But actually, he finds the kill anyway. Manages to pass Crims as well. And I don't know how he manages to get away with that much on 24 HP. But hey, HellRaisers, 4v2, 4v none. They keep all of their players that were remaining and make some money going into their CT side third. Well, second round win, but looking for them.
Considering how quickly like Angel got punished in the middle, if Issa didn't pick up this nice double, you really have to wonder how that would have worked out for them.
Yeah, this is actually one of the things that, again, during watching him play Mirage was quite tilting. Because in this round, you are correct, they don't get punished because of a big play from Issa. But even against Vega Squadron, against Avangard especially, Avangard just started sitting back, waiting for him to make some sort of aggressive play, killing him and having a man advantage every round.
If I'm not mistaken, you were even telling me that he would just push middle with no flashes, with just nothing, just
like
face check it.
high risk plays.
It's not really high reward either. It's just high risk, low reward, because maybe you get a trade 1-for-1, but that's just going to favor the terror side.
Yeah, especially once a team realizes what you're doing. Like, a lot of the time you're maybe having a push through underpass as well, which makes it very difficult. You're relying heavily on Issa. Luckily, he's starting off quite strong. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the high-risk plays that they're making, but sometimes they work, and Angel's just managed to get 2 kills in middle, so at least this time it's gone well for him. Twist, that's one of those tilting moments where you hold an angle for a good 10 seconds, and then the second you unscope, they walk away. And once again, we're seeing, well, a very uphill battle for the T side. Money not really going to be in a good state in the next round, with the loss bonus only just starting to build. Now Twist may just have to consider saving this AWP. It's not really what you want to be doing with 40 seconds left on the clock, but, well, sometimes need must.
Well, I think they know he's there too, or at least have an inkling, because Nuka's been able to push up towards T spawn. I guess they don't know he's exactly there, but they know he's over in this direction. Angel's going to push up as well, and I would imagine with HellRaisers' economy they have, they can afford to throw like at least one person into this.
Yeah, they saw him earlier. Yeah. That way when he unscoped, so they've definitely had an idea. You can see all the positions they're holding. I guess just yeah, is he going to take it? Let's see.
Well, you're talking about how you did want to see it, right?
Yeah, he is a very, very good AWPer. Like, it was always an interesting thing. I mean, Hugo were talking about it, like saying, yes, he is a good AWPer, but does he rival Oscar? And in some of the matches we've seen over on the CT side of Mirage, he really has. Like, he has been fantastic, but I guess they haven't had the need for it yet. And I think that's something that a lot of teams do, is you only bring in the secondary AWP if something needs to change.
Yeah, I feel like that's not something like a strategy that you want to depend on to win rounds,
No.
to win matches. It has to be like a backup plan, something you could just kind of go to if you do need it. In the meantime, we see the push coming out of Fnatic, and Angel, 3 quick headshots, 4 kills overall.
That was nice.
Yeah, and get one step closer to tying things up here up against Fnatic.
Yeah, great way to win yourselves an anti-eco. Like, there's keeping it clean, and then there's doing something like that. It's like, yeah, just padding my stats a little bit, feeling a bit more confident. Hopefully not overly confident, but we'll see if he continues the aggression. Because although, like I said, there are certain teams that will work it out and punish him, if he gets away with it, it can really start getting in your head. Like, there might be a round where he doesn't push mid, and you're just sat there waiting. So if he can do it successfully multiple times, then it's not that much of a bad thing, and it can mean things like this where Fnatic are going to be very patient early on, and you can see that he's now gone aggressive over towards ramp instead. So it's almost like Angel's playing a rotational AWP without an AWP.
Well, they've actually put him over towards A now. So instead of playing towards short, they've actually rotated him, hoping that Fnatic would play a little bit slower because of the aggression that you're just talking about. So it seems to have worked out for them. They got a nice stack towards the A site, and Fnatic might be walking directly into this too as they get the smoke off and towards window. Issa going to be blocked off. I think they're going to try to work their way through connector as I think that's Crims, yep, inside of Palace. Looking to flank in and be effective here. JD was going to get boosted in towards window. And he's got to hit this shot here. He actually obviously doesn't know someone was boosted in as he's still checking over towards short. But Fnatic are definitely taking their time, realizing we need this initial frag. And there it is, Crims gets it.
Yeah, this now actually switches his gaze. Maybe caught out by JW. He still knows that there's a possibility of someone being here. That's definitely not out of the question. It's just going to be waiting around the corner for the timing. And JW is going to hit that perfectly. Gives them the advantage. They also take down Oscar, which was the bigger problem of the two. And he was the lone defender of the site, and now they just pick everybody apart.
And with Crims realizing Angel's over towards the A site, they realize, all right, well, B site's probably going to be open here, so let's make a quick push in, and they are going to get this one locked down as well. I wonder, Tom, how many pros go back and watch the demos, not necessarily for like the learning factor of it, but to see like how often, if they just held an angle for like a millisecond longer, they would have got a kill and they would have died.
I don't know if they'll watch it for that reason, but I imagine...
I would get so tilted by it.
That's the thing. I imagine when they're watching it back, they will see that and just be like there's nothing you can do. Because that's not even necessarily anything to do with the way you set up. It was just the fact that a second's notice and you could be in a 4v4 instead of a 5v3.
Yeah. That's just part of Counter-Strike, the luck.
And especially their setup as well, because note that when he goes down, the other two players are sort of very deep within the sort of balcony position. So they are then screwed, because Issa's spot is what's holding off everybody from peeking into them. So it was pretty much reliant on him staying alive. Now, it's a bit of a sort of harsh assessment that, okay, he goes down, they're screwed, but it made no difference because Oscar had already died on B. But either way, it's just the small moments, and well...
Speaking of Angel in middle.
Yeah. This could be a bit more of a surprise factor, but again, he's going to look to try take some aggression. You can see very early in the rounds now, Fnatic are just patiently waiting. Yep. You can see Brolin playing anti-flash, just making sure that this aggression is not going to be had, and he'll now just wait patiently to see if anybody does aggress into middle. But actually, Angel's been a bit more passive in these rounds. He's been watching early to see if anybody's going to try and rush connector or take some control. Now he's actually just going to be spotting for LOL, who's back in the apartments.
And by the way, something we haven't really touched on just yet. There was obviously a new patch released last night, and the round loss bonus is capped at 5 now. No longer goes past that number. I think Sadicus is going to be happy about that one. But
I think everyone is.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone.
Unless you suck, then you probably won't be so
Yeah, that's why I'm not happy about it. But either way, just some slight changes that can obviously affect how the games do go here, because HellRaisers did win 4 straight after Fnatic took 5. And Fnatic is now finally able to get back on the board and take a round here. Some damage already done to Angel. Issa again going to be tucked away in window. And Lowell and Angel do have some decent positions here on the B side, and Fnatic seem to be rotating this direction, but Oscar's going to have an opportunity to hit a big shot, and he actually somehow misses out on that one. Exists able to get across, and actually looking for the 1v1 against Issa, who does finally pick up the slack of where Oscar missed. And now Lowell's going to have a lot of pressure against him, but luckily for him, he gets the bomb down. He gets an easy 1v1, but Crims is going to be there to shut this down, and Angel now looking to hold on. Jeez, Angel, calm down. Calm down, son. 12-7 for this guy.
Well, the other small detail there from Angel as well is they play that round quite smart because the information that JW gathers is false because he's jump spotting. So all JW sees is him jump spot, he shoots at him, then he runs away. At no point does LoL actually peek out and kill JW, even though he could have done it easily because JW was literally spraying through the window. So the fact that LoL waits means that when everybody comes, JW goes, yeah, he's already fallen back to the site, and LoL has a free kill. Now, he could have got way more than he did, but it's just then that moment of panic where everybody goes, oh, there's someone here, and Angel then has even more space later on.
Right, and the thing is that by LoL waiting, there's more of a chance he's going to win that duel because there's not going to be as many people stacked up in apartments as well. So it's more likely he's going to win the 1v1 and potentially a 1v2. Oscar, with Angel pushed up there, allows him to go for a nice peek in towards underpass. We'll expect a second player, though. JW's going to be there, and Angel will quickly turn around for that frag. And HellRaisers, again, back on the board here, looking to tie things up at 6 apiece, which, what we currently see, most likely going to be happening.
Crims managing to sneak his way forward, but going any further than this is going to be fairly difficult, and he's more waiting for somebody to try and peek around the edge of the stairs. Again, I have to say, although like the previous aggression we've seen from Angel, I really haven't liked, he's getting a bit more support this time. I think Oscar actually playing in the window definitely makes things a bit easier for him, and the fact that he's hitting his shots as well leaves there very little chance for him being pincered from behind. I will still say that like when he goes pushing up mid, it makes me feel uneasy.
He's only done it once, though, I believe. Like the actual just full push by himself up middle. We've seen him use multiple positions on short. We've seen him use even the underpass, like boosted on top of the smoke there.
He did it this round and the round he died.
Right. I think he's switching things up, which is really nice to see. You know, keeping Fnatic guessing.
That was filth. That was just a spray transfer from one head to another.
I don't know why, but the interview with Issa last night after they won against Aristocracy and hearing him say, talk about the sandbags position on Vertigo, he's like, yeah, I've never played that before.
No,
I don't know why that just popped into my head, but...
Well, 6-6, we already see attack pause called in from Fnatic. Now, I'm sure they're going to want to get a little bit more on their T side, but I'm not so sure it's completely necessary. I think their CT side is strong, and in terms of HellRaisers, I'm still not sold on how their T side is going so far. I think they're going to need a fair bit coming out from Oscar with the AWP when it comes to fighting into middle, and I think actually LoL as well, like going for some of the opening picks that he's had and fighting in the B apartments, I think will be more of an important factor than there's some of the players that we'd normally look to. Angel as well, like he seems to enjoy.
Luka just got knifed, I think.
Yeah, I think just that's the. How does that still happen? He's playing on hard mode.
Just making it more difficult for them to pick up this victory. Low, he spoke of him. It's a quick two-piece while blinded up, and Oscar's there to support. It looks like they have enough players here to defend against this. JW, though, looking to get on the board as he takes down one, but he's not going to take down the man tucked away in on site. And exists. Last one remaining. We'll fall here. Nice 3K for Low, nice 2K for Oscar. And HellRaisers seem to have read into that rush pretty well.
Yeah, and the players that they need seem to be stepping up as well, like Oscar having a strong performance. Angel, not someone that you'd necessarily expect, but I feel like he's been able to get away with a lot of the aggressive plays that he's making. And because of that, well, it's either going to go one of two ways. Either he's being really successful or, well, getting wrecked. So the fact that it's working is a little bit worrying for Fnatic, but, well, one of the scarier factors is the fact that actually JW, he's been a man we've seen get 20 kills every single map yesterday. He's currently on 4.
Jeez, Tom. Just call him out even harder, huh? No, you're right. No, you're exactly right. I didn't mean that to sound BM at all. It's just kind of funny. But you're right. JW had amazing performances yesterday against Optic. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to take that victory as they did lose 2-1. But it seemed like they started to actually try to punish Angel this time. You saw like the decoy thrown in as a fake flash. If Angel was there, they could have got potentially a kill if he was turned around. And they've been able to actually get more control in towards mid. But again, Angel's been just playing so many different positions. He's not being read correctly by Fnatic. And it's keeping Fnatic guessing. Yeah, they have the middle control for now. But the HellRaisers are set up. They're more than happy to let this middle ground go. I mean, look how far back Angel actually is trying to hold in towards window.
Even still, I think that just the amount of positions that have been gathered up early in this round by Fnatic, you can see them over into the ladder room, peeking into window as well. I would assume they're going to attempt something towards B, but they've still got Crims lurking around in the palace, so I wonder if he's either just going to be the bait back in or if they're going to try and force the issue here. The thing is, I don't think their 8 takes have been anywhere near as successful as their pushes in towards the B site. Like, they've been able to find openers on the other side of the map far more easily. And this time, it just seems like the read again is very good from HellRaisers. Another switch up in setup. Oscar now playing on this A site, peeking into the connector after they give up control. And they still have everybody here just trying to fend things off. Issa even in the back lines as the final knife in the back. However, Twister's found a little bit of a gap. The only problem is Lol's there, and, well, we didn't even get to the point that there was only 6 seconds left on the clock.
I want to go back to the point you said about the A site versus the B site. Even like the strat where you're generally more likely to get the bomb down with the set execute, with the set smokes to plant the bomb, to play after plant. Even that didn't work because of a misplaced smoke towards jungle. Because there's a slight gap. Oscar got an early kill, forcing a plant behind the boxes. So even like the basic strategy for Fnatic, and I think they were even the team originally to make that strat happen on Mirage on the A site, just it got completely shut down. And they've been more about middle control and more about trying to work towards B since then.
Yep, and their big problem at the moment is this man. Oscar has been hitting his shots today, 14 and 7. Angel's going to pick up another before Oscar falls and keeps the man advantage firmly in their favor. I think you can see, well, at least from what I saw a couple of weeks ago, the differences maybe from the boot camp, that whenever Angel is doing something aggressive, he now always seems to have Oscar to support him, which I don't think they had before. So I'm definitely liking that change. And then you have Issa as well in the connector still, as they did before. Angel playing that rotational role, and he's playing it perfectly. 3 kills, he's on 17 total, and leaves Exist alone. Versus 4, manages a fair few clutches while he was in Sydney, but this one is not happening. 13 HP, 3 players to find, doesn't have the bomb. Got anything else worse you can add, Jason?
He has a Galil.
He does have a Galil, yep.
But he does look damn handsome in his picture, I'll give him that. But we're going to see, though, most likely a 9-6 scoreline. And we were talking about HellRaisers and how they were performing. Well, they lost 5 straight in the beginning, then they came back and took 4, then eventually were able to get back on the board as Fnatic hit 6. But they finally came together towards the end, and that was based around Angel and, as you said, with Oscar supporting in middle. But we'll see how they fare on the T side after this short break.
Dancing on my own when you spill that ramen coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette, that is first sight. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby, you make me feel something. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. You give me that high pitch feel, baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch
Welcome back, everyone, to the ESL Pro League. We are currently knee-deep, I guess technically foot-deep, into our first match of the day. I don't know, maybe knee-deep for me. No, for you,
no,
foot-deep for me, you know, because of the height difference. Of HellRaisers up against Fnatic here on Mirage. Currently, HellRaisers do have the lead at the end of the first half from CT side at 9-6. And I'll be swapping over to the T side to see if they can continue this dominance that they've been able to show off the back of, well, one player in particular, Angel, and as well as Oscar, who's been doing a fantastic job, as you mentioned before, in middle supporting him.
Yeah, this is why I want to see the boot camp take effect for HellRaisers, because their T side, at least a couple of weeks ago, was fairly underwhelming. Like, they really struggled. They almost had a complete comeback after a 12-3 half from Vega Squadron, and Fnatic, in case anybody wondering, are better than Vega Squadron. So it's going to be...
Since when?
Yeah, I do like Sharks, but, you know, not that much. But, yeah, I think this could be where things get a bit tougher, but that's not a bad start. Already hitting a dink onto JW. I believe that was slightly through a wall because he's only lost 46 HP. Lowell's already managed to get right into the corner of the site.
I don't think they know he's there either, Tom. I'm pretty sure he's just snuck right in. He rushed palace and jumped straight down.
It makes quite a loud noise, though. Yeah, that noise. So,
okay, so he does know.
I would hope that they know. But we are already seeing the bomb looking to maybe rotate back because of this. If you have these positions, it is going to be quite valuable for your team. Lowell as well actually given the mini raid boss, as he's got the P250 along with the Kevlar, so he has that extra bit of range when it comes to fighting into jungle and into CT, and there's JW getting a bit curious. Rotation around, great shot from Crims, peeks back, gets a second as well, the third for Crims, and Brolin's chimed in with another. What looked like such a promising round from HellRaisers has fallen flat off the man who owns this connector. It is Crims, just don't go anywhere near him, avoid him for the rest of the game because you're not getting past this man.
Again, this just makes me think back to something Sponge said yesterday. Fnatic win close matches off the back of clutches, and that wasn't necessarily a clutch position or a clutch play, but getting 4 kills after they lost JW and Window off the bat, that was really well done by him and just saved the round here for Fnatic. Look at those taps coming through, that composure as well.
Well, it's machine as well. It's like, what do you ask someone who's played like thousands of hours in connector? It's just instinct. And
yeah.
Did you even see him like even slightly break a sweat there? It's like,
well, he's
take
Swedish,
one
so
bullet.
they don't really have
and,
actually, that's Finnish people,
no,
I
that's
guess.
Finnish. Even still, he seems like maybe he's a little Finnish as well.
It's great. It's a great picture of Sergey like after winning the last event. He looks so happy as he's just like a blank face. Crims again. That's 7 for him so far in the first 2 rounds of CT side.
Yeah, it's almost match up to Nuki's 8 from yesterday. Like the ace and the 3 he got afterwards. So, yeah, padding those stats a little bit early on, but well, a fantastic start to their CT side. Keeping things very clean as well, which is important, knowing that the Ts have saved money to get the AKs into this round. And considering that they actually still have, like, obviously an SMG and a Scout, which is not ideal, but buying back up in the next round is possible, and if they save one, they would even have a good buy. So it's not a bonus round, not like it used to be, but it's still not that bad a situation for Fnatic. What?
Yep. Yep.
Lol just died 100% to nades. That is not the start the HellRaisers were looking for going into this round. 4 players as well on the A site for the CT side. A little bit of a gamble coming out from them, leaving Twist all alone.
So that was that a Molotov and a nade, or is that double nades?
It was a Molotov that he took 88 damage from. So I by the looks of it, I think there was a smoke down,
yeah,
but it spread into the corner. So that may have even been a team nade, because that's quite a common Molotov that you throw into the window to sort of cut out that corner. Have to see later on, but I don't really know what happened there for Lau. But either way, the rest of the team have to try and move on from that. They've got some mid control. They also have a player up in towards the apartments. And Twist is still the only one here. The rotation has now come in from JW, but bear in mind he's not got an AWP, he's only got a Scout, so have to be shooting for the face if he wants to get anything done. But he hits the tag initially, at least whittling down these remaining players over on the T side. Twist, well, maybe he doesn't need any help, just gets himself 3 kills in the corner. Brolin again likes to just pick up 1 and chime in to help out the team. And that will be another round on the board for Fnatic. And bear in mind, that was a round with a Scout and an SMG that they've just upgraded to AKs.
They're going to be pretty happy about that, I'd say, Tom. 100%. And Twist as well, like having the coverage of JW there, and also the realization that there was a tag hit. It was a great shot by JW to actually give them an opportunity to hold. And considering how long Fnatic only had Twist there at the B site, kind of surprised to see them actually just leave that alone for such a long, extended period of time.
I think it's one of those rounds where you know you have a disadvantage in terms of weaponry. And because of that, you'd assume, based off the tease, that they'd go towards A, because a lot more open spaces, a lot easier for the AKs to entry, whereas on the B site, unless you get control of short, you're basically just running through a choke point, where an SMG or something like that could do a lot of damage. So I think they just tried to predict what HellRaisers were going to do. They were wrong, but it didn't actually matter, because the Ts were actually a little bit slow getting into the site, and of course, Twist did such a great job of actually holding it down.
You know, I think JW might have heard you when he talked about his 20 kills a map yesterday.
Hey, I'll be happy if he steps up and just starts wrecking face, because he's one of the most enjoyable players to watch when he's playing well. And there you go. Oh, he's going to get wrecked in the last one.
Always that commentator's curse coming through, huh? But still, it helps out, because what, exist upgrades from the FAMAS over to an AK, so...
Yeah, just get rid of it in general.
Yeah.
Put in a bazooka.
You know, why not just add jetpacks and running up walls?
No, that would be an awful idea. Who would do that? Who would take like an old style game that's purely based on like old warfare and then add jetpacks and stupid stuff and completely ruin it? No one.
Just makes you think back to something Stunner said back at the Miners. Anyways, now Fnatic back with a lead at 10-9 here. Able to take 4 rounds straight on the CT side, but we're going to see HellRaisers buy up back into this. The utility a little bit lacking, as they've expended quite a bit just to get this early middle control. Lowell looking to push up. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to see out JW, who's just hiding in that corner. But we can see HellRaisers have gone back to more of a spread out style, hoping that Fnatic's going to push in some direction, which they might get lucky for, because JW has actually pushed into underpass. In the meantime, Twist is pushing up in towards apartments as well. JW's going to have an opportunity here for a shot. And he does not take down Lowell, who just wrecks him there. But now Twist has been able to push up. He's behind them. He knows at least where one player is going to be. He could flank around in middle if he wants to as well.
Lowell's looking in that direction. He is more than aware that somebody's going to try and trade that frag. The problem is, Twist doesn't really seem that interested. He's going to go all the way through, find out the information instead. The only problem is, will he be too late, as they already start to take connected control. Peek out from Crims, just pops the head of one. The trade is going to be there, but Twist is still coming in on the flank. Now, he'll have to push back in through the smoke. If his teammates can hold on, there's still a chance in. Ukid doesn't expect for there to be a second player within the site, and still the time is being bought. Now Twist could look to pounce, but he makes a mistake. He shoots too early, doesn't guarantee the frag, and now Brolin's going to be closed out, and Oscar will finish him off as well. That flank seemed like it was going to be the perfect play in the round, but just a slight lack of trigger discipline was enough.
Really unfortunate, too, considering the information he already had from JW down to Lowell in underpass. And then no one was even watching the flank at the time. Oscar was just kind of running to catch up back with his team. But what a fantastic shot out of the Spanish player there. And also, yeah, Nuka's shot onto Exist. Like, that was phenomenal. And that's what really solidified that A take.
Even still, lots of damage done to the T-side economy. Look what they have brought into this round. They have 2 MAC-10s, but they're going to try and utilize them in the best way possible. A straight-up rush into the B site. How does Twist get away with that? He actually gets a kill with the nade instead. Crim spots out a player just on the corner, but Lau can't really take any fights here. He's still only got a MAC-10. Crim's going to sneak round. He tries to play the trigger discipline, but eventually just has to go for the kill. And now Oscar left into the 1 versus 3. No scope not achieved, and Fnatic now take the lead.
I swear Crims has to be part Finnish. Like, he just plays so cold. He just doesn't get tilted. He just keeps that composure the entire time. I mean, you saw him even delaying the shot onto Lowell, who was looking for a plant, because he wanted to look for potentially where the last player was and to be able to solidify that round. Really well done by him. And again, Twist, as you mentioned, somehow getting that nade kill was being sprayed down at the same time over towards short. Well done here for the side of Fnatic. I have to say, though, JW only picked up 1 since I mentioned, but him maybe hitting 20. But it seems like almost everyone else is on track to potentially get there.
He's got the ult now. That's what he was missing before. Still has 98 ADR. Like, that is worth mentioning.
That is true.
Like, to have 9 kills and have almost 100 ADR is ridiculous. So he's definitely been doing damage, just hasn't been able to finish off his opponents, unfortunately. So it's not going to pad his stats too much, but we are now going to see that underpass control taken. The early stage towards getting mid, and Crim's already going to spot things out. Information gathered, But the smoke will mean that JW has to take a little bit of a push back. The risk going through into connector, not quite worth it at this point, especially when this is the chance to really destroy HellRaisers' economy. Although it will still be building up after the amount of rounds that Fnatic have actually been able to win. Bear in mind it was a 9-6 half in their favor. They've only managed 1 round since. Berlin going to be able to close that one. Also gets behind default as well, so can't even be traded by Lol, who's ready for that exact prospect. Still has to be wary of Nuki as well within the Palace.
Can Issa get revenge against JW? Where JW previously pushed through window and caught him. Actually got jumped into window, boosted in. And he looks like he wouldn't even have an opportunity to, as Lowell's going to be able to get to. But the bomb is now dropped, actually. I don't know if that was spotted out. Issa's going to drop back down out of house here to look for a conversion. And if he didn't pick up that kill, that actually might have been the round for them. With 15 seconds left to go, they have to rush the bomb back up to get the bomb down. Krim's going to be looking to push the smoke potentially. Takes down Nuke, looking for the span through. Gets a second as well, and a 1v1 up against Issa. And Issa with the AWP is going to peek around the side and can't get the shot. And again, Krims does it another time. 3 in this round. And Fnatic will go up 12-10.
We sort of listened in his interview where he said, yeah, I've been good for a while. Like, my numbers have been good for a while. And he's not wrong. Like, he's definitely not wrong. Chad said the best Swedish player, and I would be inclined to agree.
I know him and JW have been like constantly battling for like
Yeah.
first place rating within the team for the last 3 months. So this is definitely his chance to really shine. We're going to see HellRaisers just take a moment here to think. Angel, the man on your screen there, trying to figure out what to do on this T side, because almost everything they've done, bar 1 round, has not worked out for them. And to be fair, a lot of those rounds weren't even due necessarily to maybe mistakes they made. It's been due to brilliance out of Krims, getting 3 kills, getting 4 kills. Twist getting like doubles from positions he maybe shouldn't have.
Well, the clutch team of Fnatic.
Yeah.
Like, that they are just that team, and it's something they have to deal with. It's something that HellRaisers are actually fairly used to themselves. Like, watch that Vertigo game yesterday and tell me that that wasn't purely based off just individual prowess and being able to win those duels. And this is one of the more troubling things, though, is I can feel like HellRaisers can do that quite easily on the CT side. At the moment, I'm not sure they have it down to a T on their T side. And it's even visible on Mirage, which is one of the more basic T sides to play. So it does make me worry a little bit. I'll see if they can bring things back now. JW going to be well placed to find that opening pick before the smoke blooms as well. So now they can throw out their counter Molotovs. Bombs hit the deck. Exist is already going to be able to trade the kill that goes in onto JW as he sits within the site and just tries to use his utility, same as he does on Inferno. It's not to block off the T's from getting in, it's to cover himself off, but he will go down to the Flames instead, back into a 3v3.
But with so much time already going down, the smokes they had set have dissipated. And it's going to be very hard now for Issa to be up against 3 to pull this off. He finds the first one, but Krims will be avenged by Twist here. And Fnatic get 1 step closer to taking Mirage. And again, a very important match here for both these 2 teams, because if HellRaisers take this, then they're basically through.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the finals, and Fnatic, if they lose this, they're basically out of the whole thing. And HellRaisers were here in the finals last season, obviously a different roster then, but it would be nice for Angel to get back there yet again to reaffirm what he's done with the team.
Especially with such a new roster as well. It'd be quite an achievement to come straight into the Pro League and just go straight through. Like, it would be impressive from them. And they've already impressed so far with how they've been able to get this far and challenge versus some top teams. But I think they hope to achieve more. I wouldn't be surprised by that, especially the likes of Issa. I know that his goals are high, but this round at least, the utility has ruined them. 6 HP for LoL, an attempted bomb plant failed. Angel looking to try and recreate the same thing. May be able to get away with it here. Doesn't look like there's really much of a challenge from Fnatic. They're just happy to play this retake. Money for them not in the best of states, so they don't want to be just throwing players into the win. They'd rather make sure they keep their economy strong, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Money will be built, 5 players surviving. They can have the AUGs and AWP into the next round, and the only spending will go into utility.
Krims at 23 and 12. And I want to say at least like 10 to 15 of those have come on the CT side too.
Yeah, I think the CT side of Mirage has been pretty much one of his best spots for years. Like, you always think back to B-site Inferno with Olaf when they were in the like legendary roster, but I think this has just been a position like no matter the iteration of Fnatic, no matter who was on the team, if he was playing towards that connector, he was getting kills.
The thing is, that's such a important part of the map too. And to have a player who can perform like this time in and time out and not be flustered and continue to play so well is so helpful to Fnatic.
The scariest thing about someone being so consistently good at a spot is that your opponent knows you are there, they can watch a million demos of how you play, and if they still can't do anything about it, all that proves is how good you are.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can hear Angel again. It's from last week. We're going to go mid again. We're going to do the same thing. As he said yesterday, we see Crim's 108 ADR. JW's you talked about before, 11 frags, but 94. He's not budged. He was at like, what, 96 earlier, 98 earlier, now down to 94. He's doing so much damage every round, just not getting the
Crim's
finishers.
is stealing his kills, that's what it is.
Yeah. JW, though, looking for some here. He's going to get flashed out quite a bit. Nade comes through. Not really going to connect, but he does stay alive and stay safe for now. Wonder if they're playing this position because of the consecutive A hits out of HellRaisers. Now Crim's going to be pushed into window, but Angel going to be sent back to heaven. They're playing so passive on the A side. We've seen like 1 or 2 rounds where they had Exist pushed up towards default. A couple of rounds, maybe like 2 total, we've actually seen them hold the A side up close and personal, but otherwise they've been more than happy to just go for these retakes and allow Crims to do his thing.
Well, if your retakes never fail, I don't know why you stop doing them.
Of course, I mentioned Crims doing well. And
well, JW going to be boosted up over the top. Incendiary going to be used to force out Lau, but doesn't connect the shot. That would have been the opener back in. Twist now looks to rotate through the connector with 2 players currently on ramp for the T side. A couple of smokes as well could be utilized by Fnatic to try and get themselves further onto the bomb. Lau going to peek out though, and he sprays down both players in CT. Twist now left with a choice of just trying to do damage or saving that gun, or maybe a little bit of the 2. We'll at least be able to take one more T player down with him, but HellRaisers, their pause works out. They get their second round on the board when it comes to this T side. And maybe this can be the building platform.
why is Lau so good at these spray downs? Like, this isn't the first time we've seen him pull off like a 1v2 spray down. He did one in connector on the CT side in middle, and he just seems to be so consistent, at least with hitting these shots. And very important shots, too, because if he missed that, and they are easily able to pick up that frag, then you have, like, Oscar left alone towards ramp. You have 2 smokes still, actually 1 smoke still to cover that off, to potentially get Fnatic into the actual site. So very important frags here for him, and you can see Lil at 20 for his team, with Angel at 17, who's been kind of impactless. Is that technically the right term? Hasn't had much of an impact on the T side. And of course, just as I speak about it, he takes down Crims. I am not going to win the lotto tonight.
Yeah, I was about to say, someone at the bookies should just pay you off to say not what they want to happen. Win all of your bets with Jay Kaplan. But here we go, 3v3. Twist going to be towards the back of site. The trades this time slightly favoring HellRaisers, but with the full rotation already coming in from Fnatic, they're definitely well set up for any sort of play.
No utility, though, on the side of HellRaisers. To take this A site, they're going to have to win a couple of battles, and Exist is going to be at least to deny Isa here. Twist pushed up on towards triple. Gets one himself as well. Oscar down to 20 HP. Now 19 in a 1v2. A much-needed round here for HellRaisers. And no chance as Exist is going to shut that down. So, I mean, a little unfortunate for them, considering they did pull off a 3v3, but to have no utility to get actually into the A site and to give them an advantageous position.
Oh. Please, brother.
There we go. Day
Sigh
saved.
of relief.
I was trying to think of some Swedish words that I know that explain that situation.
Are there any that you can even say live on air?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
Maybe like for helvete, even though I can't say it correctly. I think that's the only one I could say. Here we go. Fnatic on 15. Need one more to close out this match. JW gonna uncharacteristically miss that shot. But with the smoke and the flashbang, it should be able to survive for now. In the meantime, Angel trying to push up. Angel gets the damage and finally the frag. And it seems like Fnatic have been caught a little bit off guard here as Exist falls as well.
Yeah, I think Exist trying to bail JW out of a bit of trouble and will be caught for his aggression. Doubles up the damage, and oh, you can see the CT side now going to try and gamble a little bit.
So Crim switching things up, which I think they're going to know considering Exist did fall and JW fell. Trying to push in towards Palace, which is his home ground on the T side as we saw in the first half. Now HellRaisers have a free A site to take here. With Twist and Brolin still over towards that B site. The time on the side of HellRaisers, bomb going to be planted. Thing is, there's 2 players over towards connector and towards middle. It's planted towards middle as well. I don't see Crims rotating around towards mid to do something about this, and looks like Fnatic are actually just going to save this one into the next round. Their economy is hurting, and they don't want to let these rounds slip away from them.
Yeah, we've seen this a couple of times now so far this week from Fnatic, where they've had chances to close out matches and it's slipped away. The OT game versus Optic was definitely one of them. Either way, let's just ignore that.
Ignore what?
Exactly. CT side are going to be able to save their remaining weaponry, and for the teaser flawless round, so their money's not really going to be hindered for the rest of regulation. I suppose when it gets into overtime, it can't really be hindered because they have the maximum amount of cash possible. If you run out of money on the 16k MR3, you've basically just been buying auto snipers. Or an M249. That's pretty pricey and trash.
Tell me how you really feel.
It's not as good as the Negev, obviously.
I think Jadeb is going to be playing a lot more passive here. He's been shut down in mid twice now, I think. He's missed a couple of shots. He pushed in towards middle, missed an up-close shot. I think he did that about 2 rounds in a row. Speaking of someone who's not going to miss the shots, it's Brolin and Twist who just, what, duo? No, he actually single-handedly locked that down.
How? That made no sense. I don't know how Brolin just did that. 3 players all facing him at once, and the youngster gets all 3. A ridiculous play that has potentially just won this first map for Fnatic when they were in some trouble when it comes to finances. 2 of his teammates don't even have guns. They just didn't buy anything.
These are the 3 players who saved for the round just before.
Exactly.
And it worked out. That's why saving can be so important, and actually might have just won the map here for Fnatic, Tom.
Also, investing into a 16-year-old wonder kid. That can work too.
How does it feel commentating a 16-year-old who's better at a game than you? Like
Sorry,
way better.
How old are you?
So, Lowell, in a 1v5, not going to have a chance, and Fnatic will be able to pull that one through after a slipping T side for themselves. And they have to be proud and happy about that one, because that keeps their hopes alive as well.